Good morning. I'd like to call this meeting to order, WMU Board of Trustees for June 29th, 2023. Well, good morning, everyone. Pleasure to see everybody. Welcome to our final Board of Trustees meeting for the 2022-23 academic year. We reflect on a year filled with a lot of achievements for the university, ranging from student recognitions to faculty and staff honors to highlights from the board. My colleagues and I are filled with gratitude as we serve as advocates for higher education and work to help raise the profile of WMU. We're delighted to gather as a board today, ready to engage in crucial discussions and decision-making. And if you see our agenda, you see we have a pretty full agenda. So please be patient. But first, I'd like to start today's meeting with just a brief note. We are aware that a group of faculty members has expressed concerns pertaining to race and equity in their department. We are taking actions. We want to take this moment to affirm our commitment to fostering a supportive and inclusive community based on the principle that every member is to be valued and treated with respect, human dignity, no matter who they are. It's why we advance initiatives like RJAC, the Racial Justice Advisory Committee, and have other mechanisms as well, such as the Office of Institutional Equity, to support this principle. When any concern is raised, we expect and appreciate the administration's efforts to work diligently with faculty, staff, and students towards resolutions using our established processes and procedures, and see action. These efforts are aligned with our commitment to a fair, equitable, and inclusive working and learning environment that empowers all members of our community to advance in their learning, discovery, and in scholarly pursuits. We honor this commitment from the Board of Trustees. Thank you. Dr. Schuman, do we have a quorum? Sorry, Secretary Schuman, do we have a quorum?
Chair Edgerton, we do. We also have Trustee Turfy joining us virtually.
Okay, wonderful. At this time, I'd like to call on the board for a motion to accept today's agenda.
So moved. Support.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you. Are there any comments from trustees concerning our previous board minutes? If not, I'd like to entertain a motion to adopt the minutes from the April 27th meeting.
Support.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Great. Thank you. As I mentioned, we have a remarkable academic year filled with achievement. During this time, we said goodbye to two of our longstanding trustees, William Johnston and Jeff Reinvelt, who are in the audience today, whose impact at Western will be felt for decades. And to welcome them, and will be honored later in our agenda. And then we warmly welcome this year 3 new members, Trustees Burris, Holdley, and Williams. But beyond the board-related activities, we've engaged in many celebrations on campus this year. I'll start with congratulating the 1,100 who graduated this past weekend for the summer commencement. Both Trustee Holdley and I represented the board at both ceremonies, and it was just a thrill to see those students cross the stage for that signature moment. But I think what was really touching, though, was Dr. Montgomery got to be able to award his son his degree, and so that was very, very touching to see that. And today, we're pleased to recognize another group of graduates. These are employees, our employees, who have earned their degrees during the spring commencement. We officially honor these colleagues in a few moments, but I just wanted to express my congratulations to this exceptional group. And I'm not sure what the number was, but it kept 23. You know, you sacrificed a lot of nights and weekends to pursue that degree, and I think that's very, very important. You know, at Western, we speak a lot about the pursuit of purpose and goals that we achieved, and we're just so pleased to honor the outcomes that you guys have pursued. Today also marks a bittersweet moment. This is the last meeting in the Bernhardt Center, spanning some 60 years that this building's been here. It's been cherished. It's been well utilized as a gathering space for campus community and area residents, and it'll live on in our memories. But mixed with that is also the fact that we have a beautiful new student center that will be officially dedicated September 28th. A number of us had an opportunity yesterday to to take kind of a pre-tour, which was kind of nice. I mean, a lot of boxes and everything to be unpacked, but it's going to be a beautiful facility and a wonderful opportunity. That will be the first board meeting for September, will be in the new facility, and certainly I think we're all very honored to be a part of this journey with that new building. So at this time, I would like President Montgomery to share his remarks.
Thank you, Chair Edgerton, and good morning to everybody. It's great to have everybody here. As she had mentioned, today is a day of congratulations and celebration of many achievements over the course of the year. And I wanted to start with recognizing the incredible team effort that came together from across the campus, every division around the Empowering Futures gift. The groups of staff and faculty and who have been part of that committee have just done incredible work, and that effort is leading to what we wanted, changing the lives of students for the better, changing the lives of the campus and their trajectory. So I want to thank them in a whole variety of ways that group came together and worked, whether it's be our new Navigator Network, the Student Success Hub, scholarships, housing scholarships, internships. This is really a cross-cutting initiative that we're already beginning to see payoffs from. If we look at the data that we have at this point, which is 90 days from census, we've already seen a 5 percentage point increase in our retention rate amongst first-year students. A dramatic increase. That's trending up across all classes. Sophomores are up 4 percentage points, seniors are up 3 percentage points, juniors are up 2 percentage points. Really remarkable payoff in a short period of time, and we're just getting started. We're also very much intentionally focusing on achievement gaps. We want everybody to succeed on this campus, and I want to make sure that we do focus on those equity issues. And what we've seen already, Black and African American students are trending up by 7.7 percentage points, and Hispanic students by 6.1 percentage points. So really hats off to that team and all the people who've worked on that. It really has been a collaborative effort. We're seeing retention. They're not just staying. Grade point average up 14%, those with 14% increase in those with a 3.0. And so our students are succeeding on multiple dimensions. When Dr. Martini presented here at the Student Success Hub that got picked up by national news, I guess he's got a high Q rating now, and so is a media star, but he was featured, and the effort was featured in Inside Higher Ed. So again, it's national recognition, so it's not just us saying great job for his team and all of you. It's really a communal effort on this holistic approach to student engagement and success. So that's one great thing. We've also got to celebrate some presidential innovation professors. We got a latest class of those, and we had a ceremony where we got to recognize some 40 faculty and staff who've been actively involved in our research enterprise, research and creative scholarship enterprise over the last year. In terms of some objective measures, we got 159 new grants this year, totaling another $31 million in research, a fantastic effort across a whole range of disciplines, and again, faculty to be applauded, as well as Office of Research and Innovation and others who've helped support that effort. Giving Day, again, hit a home run there, 3,000 donors, $793,000. Again, it's 3 home runs in a row. So again, collaborative efforts, different units got engaged, had a lot of competitive juices, were stoked by the prizes, and so hats off to everybody about that. And it speaks volumes that our community is willing to give back, both alumni as well as friends of the campus. As was already mentioned, summer commencement, got to be one of the happiest days on campus. All commencements are one of the happiest days on campus. If you want to know why we do what we do, just go to that ceremony and you see the joy on the faces of the families and the students and the accomplishments that they've had. It really is reaffirming. got to be a parent of a two-time Bronco, a double Bronco, and so that was something that you don't often get in your life, is to be able to give your own child their diploma. So that was quite gratifying, and he acknowledged me. So yeah, sometimes they pretend they're not really their parents, but yeah. So that was a plus too. So anyway, sorry. So we're I think it was also mentioned, obviously, as we close out the summer and we prepare for the fall. I think one of the highlights is clearly going to be the opening of the Student Center and Dining Facility. Got to tour that, I think, a week ago. It is amazing. Dr. Anderson has said 30 years in the making, and her and her team, and Jan and her team have just done a remarkable job. This will be something that our students will say, wow. And so I want to thank everybody who did work on that and pulling it off and getting us ready for the grand opening at the beginning of the school year. And so that, again, is just part of the kinds of ways our people, our faculty, staff, come together around this campus to make it a special place. And so I want to thank all of them. It's been a good year. It's been a re-engaging year. We have ways to go to make this place realize its full potential, but I really want to thank everybody for all that they do for this campus, and so it has its impact on the lives of our students as well as the community we're in. Speaking of impacts on our community, we're going to be celebrating at the end of July a naturalization ceremony. We're going to have a large naturalization ceremony on campus, and we'll be delighted to welcome the next new Americans and as part of their thing. It's part of our engagement, and I really want to thank Government Relations for sponsoring that and letting us play that critical role in that special day, again, for those citizens. And then lastly, but not least, I would be remiss if I didn't want to add my own personal 2 cents to Trustees Johnston and Reinfeldt. They've been great leaders for this campus, great mentors, great friends, and their contributions on a whole bunch of fronts are really incredibly noteworthy and meaningful. So I know they don't like the limelight and all that kind of stuff, and I know Bill's shaking his head and saying, shut up, and but they've done remarkable stuff, and so I think we all owe them a debt of gratitude as they move to emeritized status. So lots of activities to go yet, so I'll stop at that point as we go through budget and tuition and all those other important items.
Thank you, Dr. Montgomery, and I just have to say, having now been on the stage with him doing the diploma, watching those students, I mean, he does an outstanding job. I mean, and sometimes you have 2, sometimes as many as 4 ceremonies, and he is up there shaking everybody's hands. So it's just a real honor and a pleasure, and just a real dedication to the university. So thank you. But at this time, I'd like to welcome our from the floor, our Faculty Senate member, who is our shared governance partner. These organizations, along with WSA, work to guide the university in a shared vision of advancing Western's excellence. So Dr. Sarah Sommerly, thank you. Welcome.
Good morning, Chair Edgerton, members of the board, President Montgomery, colleagues, and guests. On behalf of the Western Michigan University Faculty Senate, thank you for the opportunity to address you and update you on our activities. The administration recently approved 2 memorandum of action. MOA 2203, revision of graduation requirements to establish minimum credits for a doctoral degree, and MOA 2301, recommended revisions of general principles of curriculum change. There are 2 additional MOAs that have been approved by the Senate and are awaiting administration to approve. MOA 2003, syllabus requirements, and MOA 2104, revision of accelerated graduate degree programs. Earlier this month, the Faculty Senate Executive Board accepted the resignation of Vice President William Rance and appointed physics professor Paul Pancella as Vice President pro tem. A special election for the Vice President will be held in the fall. In addition to the ongoing work supporting the Faculty Senate Action Plan, the Executive Board has affirmed 2 initiatives for our next academic year. The first one is Centers and Institutes. This ad hoc committee will be co-chaired by Dr. Decker Haynes and Dr. Brett Wagner, both from the Hayworth College of Business. Our second initiative will be artificial intelligence. This ad hoc committee will be chaired by Dr. Kieran Fogarty, College of Health and Human Services. The Faculty Senate, councils, and committees do not meet during the summer. However, each council committee submits a yearly report. These reports are actually due tomorrow. The Faculty Senate Executive Board will review these reports and develop charges for the 23-24 academic year. The Executive Board does convene during the summer. The Faculty Senate congratulates Executive Board member Lisa Giacano-Cook on her new role as WMU's Curriculum Manager. Thank you, Chair Edgerton, for allowing me to address the board today. I'm available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Slemmy. Appreciate all the work you do. Thank you. Now welcome WSA, Ms. Kayla Bird. And Kayla, correct me, is this your first official?
First official.
Yes, thanks.
So if my heart's racing it a little fast. Good morning, Chair Edgerton, members of the board, and all of those in attendance. I am truly honored and privileged to be speaking with you all today on behalf of the student body and Western Student Association. A year ago today, I could not have dreamed of this opportunity. In fact, a year ago today, I was not yet an active member in Western Student Association. So today I celebrate how far the vision of our organization, Empowered Students Empowering Students, has taken me and many other student leaders around me. On that note, there is a lot to celebrate since the start of summer. So I want to take a brief moment to say happy Cinco de Mayo, Memorial Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Juneteenth, Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, Pride Month, graduation, first day of summer too, and a very happy early 4th of July. Although celebrations have been high, we have continued to work hard. Due to the transition time given the early elections last year, we were able to mobilize and confirm cabinet members in a way that has not been done in the organization before. It is for that reason we were able to provide some compensation for student leaders to start working on larger projects to ensure a smooth transition into the school year and for the continuity of the organization. Since swearing in on April 17th, we have planned a retreat for the Western Student Association leaders before the start of the school year, begun planning for the Fall RSO Summit, hopefully going to be held on Saturday, September 23rd. We have brought together the staff agencies for a collaborative event that we hope to make a tradition for all students, begun projects to be completed by summer's end, such as updating our website, and creating an e-learning page for easy access of information to additional resources, as well as a streamline of information for our allocations process. We have also been using the summer to create context documents for all of our bylaws and codes to provide continuity within the organization, and have set expectations for our student leaders to meet with their institutional counterparts and develop ideas of projects that they want to champion over the upcoming year. With that being said, that is simply the start of what we hope to do. In the Bird Bring Us Powers campaign we ran on the ACE initiative, advocate, communicate, and engage. Those goals represent our goal to advocate for students, bridge gaps in communication, and bring back engagement. As promised to the students while running, that initiative does not end during the campaign season. We hope to continue upholding those values and integrate them into the values of WSA, defined last year in the strategic plan, WSA Cares. We value community, advocacy, responsibility, empowerment, and social justice. On that note, I would like to extend a huge thank you to our former president, Cheng Kid-sun, and his administration for creating such a strong foundation for the longevity of the organization with the strategic plan and many other initiatives that have allowed us to start the upcoming year strong. I hope to demonstrate to you how much progress we have made on each of these initiatives in the next Board of Trustees meeting once some of our summer projects have ended and the school year begins. Until then, thank you, and onward for the brown and gold.
All right, with that, Dr. Montgomery, I'm going to turn it back over to you to honor our employee graduates.
Yeah, I wanted to take the opportunity to honor 23 employees who have received their degree in April. These employees obviously navigated all of the challenges that students do in terms of the classwork that's necessary, but they did it while maintaining their full-time employment. So incredible dedication to both, incredible value that they are attaching to a Western education, and they make us proud on so many different dimensions. So we wanted to have a time to acknowledge and applaud their accomplishments and the fact that they've completed their education. One of our longtime employees earned not 1 degree, not 2 degrees, not even 3 degrees. He got degrees number 5 and 6 this year. James Rhodes got his 5th and 6th degrees conferred during spring commencement ceremony when he got a PhD in computer science and, in his idle time, a master's in statistics. And so James, whew, that's all I'll say on that one. But James and all of the graduates are incredibly talented people, and we're incredibly proud to have them as Broncos here. And so I wanted to be able to recognize them individually. If any of them are here after I call your name, stand. Jade Hart, Taylor Rana oh, yeah, okay. Taylor Rana McGinnis, Nahitha Rajesh, Amber Hudson, James Rhodes, he's getting another degree, Monica Priest, Dylan Dolby, Angelina Tavakalian, Ronald Joey Corse, Benjamin Hayward, Mary Alex Bowman, Mark Freever, Matthew Bracey, Samantha Grimalva, Riley Galloway, Jennifer Armstrong, Gina Garza Kling, Miranda Lee Easton, Alicia Hobson, Oscar Neal, Alexis Grimshaw, Savannah Xavier, and Matthew Alonzo. How about a round of applause for these?
Thank you, Dr. Montgomery, and thank you, graduates. It's a wonderful, wonderful recognition for you and all your hard efforts. So now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Schumann, who is also our secretary, Dr. for leading the tribute to 2 esteemed individuals who have dedicated many, many years and exemplary leadership to this body.
Thank you, Chair Edgerton. So, as you can see on the agenda, we are taking to action today emeritus status for 2 of our revered seasoned trustees that rolled off in December. As you might imagine, I got direction from the board at the time to do something nice for them. So herding this group of cats to do something nice is an interesting challenge. We thought, do we pull together a collection? We would ask Trustee Johnston regularly, hey, is there anything we can do for you? I can do for you. He said, you got a sack of 50s. So we thought, no, he probably doesn't need a sack of 50s. But we thought what represents better than any present is the words from our heart. So we're not going to quit our day jobs. We're not looking for an Academy Award, but we did shoot a short video tribute for each of them. So we're going to start with Trustee Johnston. Now, the world was a different place. This was December. I think we had to pull out of Trustee Chen Zhang's A Merry Christmas. But again, from our heart to yours, Trustee Johnston, thank you for your 16 years of service, 2 different tours of duty. And with that, Jacob, roll it.
Bill, you are a wise man. To say that you are smart is an understatement. You are very wise. And also, you know what impressed me is whatever you say always carries a very big weight, as you know, but you're always able to say it in such a calm tone. But everybody listens, even though you never raise your voice. Whatever you say, whenever you say, people listen. And that's a strong and impressive ability. Thank you, Bill. We will miss you, but I will see you again in foundation meetings soon.
Trustee Johnston, when I refer to you in a conversation with my family, I call you the godfather of the board. You have deep institutional knowledge of the university and have been a trustee for over 20 years. Wow, that's a long time. Are you sure you don't want to be reappointed? Like the Michael Corleone character in the movie The Godfather, you have been a loyal trustee and a fair decision maker. When you speak, people listen. I always learn something from you, and I just love how you always have a story to share that connects to the subject matter at hand. Your institutional knowledge of WMU is impeccable. You are a solid guy.
Thank you, Trustee Johnston, Bill Johnston. It's been amazing having you on the board, and I always look forward to our discussions. Over 16 years, I'm sure everybody will go through all the big things they had, the boards, the buildings you've built, all the big decisions you made, large and small. But the biggest thing to look forward to is all the lives you've changed. The many graduates that have graduated from Western, all the people that have lives you touched, and the people that you've actually educated. It's going to be an amazing legacy that you have, and I look forward to working with you more as you go on to your next phase in working with Western.
Trustee Johnston, you were appointed to the board in January of 2007 and again for a second term in 2014. 16 awesome years of service. You really define fiduciary leadership with both grace and logic. You're a seasoned voice of reason on the board. In 2012, you led the trustees as chairperson, and in 2016, you served as chair to the Presidential Search Advisory Committee. You're endlessly generous with sharing of your wealth of knowledge and resources. You've taught me personally to focus wholeheartedly on making an impact and to seek as much possible information when leading a decision.
Bill, thank you for your service and dedication to WMU. I really appreciate serving with you and serving with you for as long as you have, for 16 years. For many people, that's a career. I appreciate your institutional knowledge, your compassion, and your dedication to this institution. You've made it a better place.
Trustee Johnston, thank you so much for how welcoming you have been, how supportive you have been in this short time that I've been on. Thank you for all of your years of service to the university and everything you do for this community and for the city of Kalamazoo.
Trustee Johnston, it's been the highlight of my career to serve on the Western Michigan Board of Trustees with you. Thank you for being a mentor and the true example of what it is to lead. The experience and governance that you bring to the board has been exceptional. I shall miss you, but I hope to stay in touch, and I wish you all the best.
Trustee Johnson, you have always been there whenever Western needed to send you into the game. Whether as a football player, a student, a trustee, you have been there for this university with your countless dedication and helping us advance in so many different ways. Your intelligence and guidance and support has meant the world to me personally, has helped me become a better leader, and I appreciate that, and I can't thank you enough. We will miss your leadership and your guidance severely, but want to say, go Broncos, and hope we can always count on you and put you back in the game.
Trustee Johnston, the ending of your term is bittersweet. It is bitter because I will not have the opportunity to learn from you and work with you anymore. But it's sweet because I know that you will continue to enjoy the extra time with Rhonda, your family, and especially your grandkids. As you know, the Military Challenge coins are proof that you are a member of a unit or served on a specific tour of duty and are part of an elite group of people. You are well deserving of this honor, and I'm happy to add your coin to my collection.
Thank you, Trustee Johnston.
Thank you, Trustee Johnston.
Trustee Johnston, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. And you're not off the hook yet. We will see you very soon again.
Thank you for all that you have done for WMU, Trustee Johnston. Onward for the brown and gold.
Best of luck, Trustee Johnston.
Thank you, Trustee Johnston.
Bill, again, thank you for your service and dedication to the WMU board. You've certainly made this community a much better place.
Thank you, Bill. You've been a great trustee. We appreciate it.
Trustee Johnston, thank you. Now, if that wasn't good enough, we also did one for Trustee Reinveld as well. So Trustee Reinveld has not always looked like this. I remember it wasn't all that long ago he showed up there. We've oftentimes have a few months in between meetings, and the clean-shaven Jeff Reinveld showed up and said, "Hey, what do you think?" He said, I don't know. I think I'm going to grow up for a little bit, but my wife doesn't like it. And then the next meeting, it was longer, and then he said, now she won't let me take it off. So we have a fully bearded Trustee Reinveld. The other thing that was really interesting during his 8 years of fiduciary service to the institution is the show Shark Tank became very popular. And as a venture capitalist, he couldn't go anywhere without students or staff asking them to evaluate their new ideas. So again, we really appreciate you, and with that, we've got a tribute from our hearts to yours.
Trustee Reinveld, I want to thank you for all that you have done for Western. You've always played the right tune and been dedicated to our students and advancing their mission and well-being. We can't thank you enough for your wisdom, your guidance, and your leadership. You have helped make this a better campus because of your great efforts. So we will miss you, but go Broncos.
Hi, Jeff. Hey, thanks so much for all of your years of service to the Western Michigan University Board of Trustees. Go Broncos. Thank you so much for all of your expertise that you have brought to the Board of Trustees. Thanks for your service on the Audit Committee. Man, you really grew that beard out during COVID. All of the Zoom meetings that we had, every time I turned on the Zoom meeting, that beard got bigger and bigger and longer. But thankfully, we're through that. Thanks for your guidance. Thanks for being a great trustee. I hope the best for you in the future, Jeff. Go Broncos.
Jeff, thank you for your dedication and service. I appreciate your RPA, relentless positive action. Your commitment to WMU has served this board well, and I've appreciated everything you've taught me during these past few years. Thank you again for your service and dedication. WMU is a better place.
I just want to pass along a huge thank you and a token of appreciation to Trustee Reinveld for all the years, I think 8 years that you've given to the university. I know that I will miss you and others will miss you, but I know most of all, the band is going to miss you and all of your support. So thank you.
Trustee Reinveld, it's been an honor to serve with you, not only on the board, but on the comp committee and on the audit committee. You've been a great example of what it's like to be a Bronco. I hope we get the opportunity to stay in touch and work together again. Congratulations.
Trustee Reinveld, you were appointed to the board in 2014. You've been instrumental on the audit committee. Trustee Reinveld, you also developed and implemented the Presidential Compensation and Assessment Committee. You've encouraged accountability with your inquisitive questions. Although residing in Ann Arbor, you're one of our most engaged trustees with events. Trustee Reinveld, you served as chairperson to the board in 2017 and again in 2018. You've personally taught me to not be afraid to change course, along with the power of getting involved.
Honestly, Jeff, when I first knew you, I thought you live in Kalamazoo or Portage because you're here all the time. But that's exactly how committed you are to your fiduciary duties. You make sure you are present all the time, and you're on top of everything, and we are going to benefit from the process and the procedures you have put into place for a long time. So thank you very much. And we're so lucky to have you join our foundation board and the investment committee. We look forward to working with you again.
Being a trustee for a university is a privilege. As trustees, you act as a general supervisor of the institution. You support and oversee the direction of expenditures from the institution's funds and strategic plan. Since I was appointed to this board, I've had the opportunity to work with some pretty smart and amazing people who I found to put the best interest of the university first when making a decision. Trustee Reinveld, thank you for serving on the audit committee and convening the President Review Committee for the past 4 years. During my time with you, your questions were always geared towards the money to make sure that the numbers made sense. Someone like you is always needed on the team. Trustee Reinveld, today, I want to present you with what I call the Trustee Challenge coin. I came up with this idea when Trustee Ken Miller's board term was up. What a stellar guy he was, who I hold in high regard. In the military, challenge coins are proof that you are a member of a unit or served on a specific tour of duty. They mean you are a member of an elite group of people. This coin acknowledges the hard work you have put in during your time on the board.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Trustee Reinveld.
Trustee Reinveld, thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate you being one of the leaders of the best damn trustees in the land. Go Broncos.
Thank you, Trustee Reinveld.
Thank you, Jeff.
Trustee Reinveld, thank you for your service.
Jeff, thank you for your dedication and service to the WMU board. Everyone truly appreciates all of your efforts. Best of luck to you in your next adventures. Thank you again.
Thank you again. If you could join me just one more time in celebrating both Trustee Reinveld and Trustee Johnston. Thank you.
Thank you again for that and the service and the team that put all the video together. It was great. So we really appreciate it. Now I'd like to bring our provost up, Dr. Julian Vasquez-Helig, to acknowledge those faculty members on the cusp of receiving tenure and promotion. It's a long list of talented individuals reaching the next level of their professional mastery. Provost? Oh, right there. I didn't know if you were going to this podium. Sorry.
I can go to the podium if you want me to. Okay. Good afternoon, esteemed members of the Board of Trustees, respected colleagues, valued guests. I'm Julian Vasquez-Helig. I'm honored to serve as provost here at Western Michigan University. It's with immense pride I come before you today. Our university is not only known for its commitment to knowledge and innovation, but also for unwavering dedication to our exceptional faculty. This presentation will highlight the talented faculty who have recently achieved a significant milestone in their professional journey with us. Those who have received promotion and tenure this academic year. I still remember the moment when I got the call from the dean at the University of Texas to tell me that I had been promoted to associate professor. I remember that day like it was yesterday. The stories of these faculty are not just about personal achievement, but represent the continued development and growth of our entire institution. We believe that by investing in our faculty, we invest in the university's future. By extension, the future of our students and the communities that we serve. So please join me in celebrating these individuals who embody the spirit, the Bronco spirit, here at WMU. Dedicated, forward-thinking, relentlessly committed to their students and their fields. So let's look forward to this exciting journey in this PowerPoint as we introduce these faculty whose dedication and academic growth have led to their promotion and tenure. So here's to the bright future of WMU. I think we're ready to queue up. So first is Brian Abendenshine, School of Communication, College of Arts and Science, granted tenure and promotion to associate professor. Next, Zachary Asher, who actually had a chance to shake his hand on the stage. He had 2 students graduating this past Saturday, College of Engineering and Applied Sciences, granted tenure and promoted to associate professor. Robert Burkhofer, Department of History, College of Arts and Science, promoted to professor. Jessica Birnbaum, Department of Aviation Science, College of Aviation, granted tenure and promoted to master faculty specialist. Christina Chen, Frostick School of Art, College of Fine Arts, promoted to professor. Betty Dennis, who I saw out there in the audience, School of Interdisciplinary and Health Programs, College of Health and Human Services, granted tenure and promoted to master faculty specialist. Alyssa Emmenheiser, Department of Speech and Language and Hearing Sciences, College of Health and Human Services, granted tenure and promoted to faculty specialist 2. Maria Cristina Fava, Irving S. Gilmore School of Music, College of Fine Arts, granted and promoted to associate professor. Brett Geyer, Department of Educational Leadership, Research and Technology, which is actually my home department, College of Education and Human Development, promoted to professor. Congratulations, Brett. Jessica Gladden, School of Social Work, College of Health and Human Services, granted tenure and promoted to associate professor. Holly Greaves, Department of Occupational Therapy, College of Health and Human Services, granted tenure. Jessica Hahn, School of Interdisciplinary and Health Programs in the College of Health and Human Services, granted tenure and promoted to Master Faculty Specialist. Keith Hall, Irving S. Gilmore School of Music, College of Fine Arts, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Amy Heath, Department of Physical Therapy, College of Health and Human Services, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Melinda Holohan, Department of Family and Computer Sciences, College of Education and Human Development, promoted to Faculty Specialist. Si Young Kim, Department of Dance, College of Fine Arts, granted tenure and promotion to Associate Professor. Michael Conkle, Department of Engineering Design, Manufacturing and Management Systems, College of Engineering, Applied Sciences, granted tenure and promoted to Master Faculty Specialist. Valerian Quigazile, Department of Civil and Construction Engineering, College of Engineering and Applied Sciences, promoted to Professor. Kate Lalonde, Department of Special Education and Literacy Studies, College of Education and Human Development, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Kevin Lee, Department of Statistics, College of Arts and Human Sciences, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. If I'm not mistaken, Carla, I think I saw him on the stage at graduation too. There were some very difficult dissertation titles for his students. I think Bayesian statistics was in there somewhere. Anyways, Tiffany Lee, School of Interdisciplinary Health Programs, College of Health and Human Services, promoted to professor. Christina Lemmer, Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, College of Engineering and Applied Sciences, promoted to professor. I've had a chance to spend a lot of time with Christina, and she is spectacular. She focuses on space, so I love talking to her. So does my son. Jeff Lindenberg, Department of Aviation Sciences, College of Aviation, promoted to Master Faculty Specialist. Elena Litvinova, Department of Physics, Department of Arts and Sciences, promoted to professor. Hexu Liu, Department of Civil and Construction Engineering, College of Engineering and Applied Sciences, granted tenure and promoted to associate professor. Taima Lutz, Department of Mathematics. Wait, did we miss her? Yeah, there she is. Department of Mathematics, College of Arts and Sciences, granted tenure and promoted to faculty specialist 2. Next slide, please. Oh, we missed Yan Lu. There she, whoa, where is she? There's a little glitch there. I always tell my students before I teach, I guarantee you one technological glitch in this class every week. Yan Lu, Department of Biological Sciences, College of Arts and Sciences, promoted to professor. Matilda McLean, Department of Aviation Sciences, College of Aviation, promoted to Master Faculty Specialist. Jennifer Richardson, Institute for Intercultural and Anthropological Studies, College of Arts and Sciences, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Amanda Remo, Department of Accountancy in the Hayworth College of Business, promoted to Faculty Specialist 2. Diane Riggs, Department of Comparative Religion, College of Arts and Science, promoted to Master Faculty Specialist. Kathy Wrigley, Department of Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences, College of Health and Human Services, granted tenure. Matthew Ross, Department of Finance and Commercial Law, Hayworth College of Business, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Gail Roush, Department of Aviation Sciences, College of Aviation, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Dawn Smith, WMU Bronson School of Nursing, College of Health and Human Services, granted tenure and promotion to Master Faculty Specialist. Jia Hu Song, Department of Business Information Systems, Hayworth College of Business, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Yu Li An Te, Irving S. Gilmore School of Music, College of Fine Arts, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Sandra Vamos, School of Interdisciplinary Health Programs, College of Health and Human Services, granted tenure and promoted to full professor. Cynthia Vischer, Department of Comparative Religion, College of Arts and Science, promoted to Master Faculty Specialist. Pamela Wadsworth, WMU School of Nursing, College of Health and Human Services, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Darren Webb, Department of Physical Therapy, College of Health and Human Services, granted tenure and promoted to Faculty Specialist 2. Just a couple more. Patrick Wilson, Frostick School of Art, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Jeffrey Shia, Department of Marketing, Hayworth College of Business, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Shu Yang, Department of World Languages and Literature, College of Arts and Sciences, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. I also want to thank all of the faculty who engaged in this important process, including folks in our office who have helped these faculty realize their dreams. If we could give them a hand and recognize the future of our university.
Thank you, Provost Vasquez-Helig. We've now reached our first public comment opportunity. Dr. Schuman, are there any public comments?
Chair Edgerton, there are no comments regarding action items. We do have comments at the end of the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Oh, sorry, thank you. Among other things, we're going to consider the 5-year capital outlay plan, the trustee emeritus recommendations, But before we take up these action items, I just want to express that as trustees, we take our fiduciary oversight very seriously. We've had substantive conversations about the budget, tuition, housing rates over the last several months, much of it depending upon what the state legislature decides to appropriate. And I know that the trustees also have a lot of detailed questions that have been answered by administration, so I think that we're very appreciative of that. We've also studied data from our peer institutions. How do we compare with other schools in the MAC or other leaders? And we're always guided by trying to be responsible and good stewards of the resources that are entrusted to us at this university. So to that end, we have several recommendations to weigh in terms of our agenda today, and we will remain aware of the present circumstances and try to keep us focused on a thriving future to serve our students. In our budget development and tuition pricing, we balance the crucial need to offer high-quality degrees with accessibility and affordability for all our students and our families. One way we strike this balance is to try to keep us in the middle ground, the best that we can. Sometimes that's not an easy task for anyone in the circumstances that we have today in our economies. As a people-dependent enterprise targeting, employee compensation that's aligned with market rates, our tuition and rates allows us to move forward in that advancement. Our tuition allows us to provide the resources needed to offer a top-tier educational experience for students with great career outcomes. I mean, we're being recognized by that in numerous national publications. We are always viewed as an access university with focus on equitable access to a degree, as well as Western's longstanding practice to increase our financial aid at the same time we're increasing tuition rates. With our housing costs, we likewise study the surrounding areas, our access mission, and it really kind of brings us to the first of our action items. So, Dr. Diane Anderson, Vice President for Student Affairs, to discuss the recommendations for room and board and apartment rates for the upcoming year. Thanks, Diane.
Good morning, Chair Edgerton, members of the board, President Montgomery, colleagues and friends. I am delighted to have this opportunity to present to you a formal request for a room, board, and apartment rate increase. Before doing so, I would like to share some important information with you regarding our housing and dining operations. For the 22-23 academic year, we operated 14 residence halls, 1 dining facility, 9 cafes, and 3 apartment-style complexes. During the fall 22 semester, 4,149 residents lived on campus. 84.79% of degree-seeking first-time freshmen chose to live in our residence halls. Apartment complexes operated at 93.55% occupancy for the fall semester, which is really an astounding occupancy rate. So I wanted to share that with you. But really, it's important for you to know that numbers are only a part of the story. The more important piece of the story is the student experience living on campus. We dedicate significant time and energy in training our student and professional staff so they are equipped to help students navigate campus, build friendships and community, and develop a sense of belonging so they're able to get the most out of their collegiate experience. We offer an array of living learning communities so students can grow and learn alongside others with similar passions and interests. We offer programming so students get outside of their rooms and, for some, their comfort zones to meet students who come from different backgrounds and from around the world. We work closely with our academic colleagues and staff from all over campus to ensure students have the resources they need to be successful and thrive as Broncos. We cannot think about the student experience without thinking about food. Our dining services team is also focused on the student experience. They provide lots of great nutritious options in a variety of food venues that cater to students' tastes, desires, nutritional needs, including a venue that serves students with specific dietary restrictions and/or allergies. They partner with international students to offer cuisine that appeals to them and expose our domestic students to foods that they may never have tried before. WMU is committed to creating spaces where students want to live, eat, and socialize while pursuing their academic and career goals. Ongoing innovations and improvements to residential and dining facilities provide an essential foundation for student success, engagement, and support. In order to provide the kinds of experiences I have just described, we have used an integrated planning and budgeting strategy that has allowed for significant incentives and discounts for students and families, totaling $2.6 million, while also enabling collaborative, future-looking planning for housing, dining, and student center operations and facilities. With the completion of the new student and dining center, all dining centers and more than 40% of the current housing portfolio will have been constructed after 2011. That's a big accomplishment because when I got here, we were really on the old side. So we really have a lot more newer facilities for our students, which is great. Students living on campus benefit from easy access to classes, events, and services. All on-campus housing options include laundry, water, sewer services, trash removal, and enhanced security services. And just a note about that, the enhanced security on campus is huge for our students and families. Several of my staff and I have been having the opportunity to meet with families and parents as part of orientation, and campus safety is a huge priority for our families. So I don't want to understate the importance of that. And thanks to our colleague, Jan Vanderclay, and our public safety department, because they do a great job for us. This year's request for room and board rate increase maintains our competitive advantage compared with other Michigan public universities. Additionally, the request for apartment rates keeps them comparable to offerings in the surrounding community. The recommendation not only continues to support and assist WMU in recruitment, retention, and student success efforts, it also supports responsible fiscal management now and in the future. Inflation for housing and dining costs continue to fluctuate and remain on the high end. Currently, the CPI for food away from home is 7.8%, and rental for primary residence is 7.4%. In keeping with our desire to provide campus living that is affordable and attractive, we are recommending the following rate increases. For room and board, 5.5%, which positions us 9th in the state, with 1 being high and 15 low. So this will position us at 9th in the state when we compare with other public universities. The annual cost for room and board in a traditional residence hall with a 14 meal plan option will be $11,125, which equates to a $73 per month increase. And for Trustee Reinfeld, that's $2.62 per day. I just had to share that with you. Or $580 for the academic year. Housing costs vary according to room amenities and the meal plans students choose. I just highlighted one of them to give you an idea. Apartment rates, I'm bringing you varied rate increases for our apartments. And the reason for that is we really look closely at our competitors in the local apartment complex market before we make those decisions. And we also look at our current offerings. So Western View Apartments, we're recommending a 4.5% increase. That equates to $39 per month for a 1-bedroom unit, $29 increase per month for a 2-bedroom unit. In Stadium Drive, we're only recommending a 1% increase, which equates to $4 per month. And the reason that I say that for Stadium Drive, they are our oldest apartments, and we refreshed them several years ago, but they're on the older side, so we didn't feel like it was appropriate to go any higher than that. In Arcadia Flats, we're leaving them at 0%. We're not recommending an increase for Arcadia Flats. We have not increased Arcadia Flats since we opened. This increased revenue will approximately bring us $2.2 million and will be deployed, in housing and dining operations. As we expand the number of dining and food retail operations we provide, it is critical that we have adequate dollars to address staffing needs and the cost of food, along with dollars to reinvest in maintaining and refurbishing our facilities. The revenue also will be used to assist in funding compensation adjustments, deferred maintenance, and Valley Residence Hall projects. In summary, the recommendation I bring today is for a 5.5% increase in student room and board rates for the 23-24 academic year effective fall semester 2023. The apartment rate increases I bring today is 4.5% for Western View apartments and 1.0% for Stadium Drive apartments, effective fall semester 2023. Again, this keeps us in line with our local apartment complexes. Once again, are recommending no increase to Arcadia Flats. With those recommendations, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
So I just have a quick question, just a clarification. So for the room and the boarding, the 5.5% increase, so the total from that is $2.2 million?
That's a 2 increase to our budget, yes.
So it will be, basically, it will be the additional revenue.
That would be the additional revenue.
Revenue to
That's the revenue that we will use to address compensation issues, the AON recalibration project, increased cost of food, increased staffing needs with the new student center, and, refurbishing the valleys. All of that will be used for that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
Oh, I just want to thank you for laying out the process. And I think Shelley did a good job too, letting everyone know how hard we worked, to come to this number. But can you just talk a little bit about the last time we raised tuition and why we hadn't in the couple of years in between?
Oh, you're talking about room and board, you mean?
Room and board, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. So during the COVID, we didn't increase. We were 0%. And last year, we only increased 2%. And the reason we did that, both of those years, we felt during COVID, it just did not feel right at all to do any kind of increase. We just felt like everybody was strapped. And so we left it at 0% for that time. Last year, we kept it low also because we knew everybody was still struggling. I mean, people were trying to get their arms around their own personal budgets as a result of COVID, so we kept it very low, and that was really with the board's guidance, and I thought that was really wise. It was 2% last year. This year, we feel like, given the things that I mentioned, we just need a little more influx of dollars to be able to manage what we have in front of us, so that's why we're asking for a higher increase.
And is it safe to say that when we didn't increase, and then when we slightly increased, other universities did, but we...
Correct. That is correct.
Thank you.
So that's why we're still, with this increase, we're still 9th in the state. So, yeah, that our colleagues did not choose to go that way. Some of them did, but not to the degree that we did.
Anything else? You good? I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendation of an increase.
So move. Support.
Okay, roll call?
Chair Edgerton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn,
Yes.
Trustee Burris,
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang,
Yes.
Trustee Holdley,
Yes.
Trustee Trevan,
Yes.
Trustee Turfy,
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Diane, and to your team as well for all the hard work. Now I'd like to turn this over to Vice President Vanderklay to discuss tuition and other business and finance. You have a long list, so.
So I can stay here.
You can stay there. Yes, you can stay there. Sorry. Yes.
Thank you. And I also want to thank you, Chair Egerton, for laying out our framework when we make decisions on tuition and budget. And our focus is on our students. The education we provide has to be high quality access. And we really keep the students and the impact to their families at the heart of our decisions. So thank you. So when you look at what we're bringing for tuition today, we are proposing a 4.62% on tuition and required fees for undergraduate resident students. So for a newly admitted full-time Michigan resident freshman, they'll pay $14,594 in tuition and required fees. And for the 23-24 academic year, that equates to an additional $644. We're also proposing a comparable increase whether you are a non-resident undergraduate student, a graduate student, or if you're a student enrolled on fully online programs. Differential tuition rates, which are charged by a few of our colleges, will remain flat. So each year lately, the state of Michigan has put in tuition restraint language, and if you do not comply, they attach a financial penalty to it. And the budget approved yesterday, they introduced a new financial penalty, so if you do not comply with the tuition restraint language, you will forfeit the increased estate appropriation, which I found to be one of their more egregious responses. For 23-24, the tuition restraint language is either a 4.5% or $676. And so I just want to clarify, even though our increase is 4.62%, that does comply with the flat dollar amount of $676. So we are in compliance with the state of Michigan language. So with that, we are recommending that effective with fall 2023, the Board of Trustees approve the schedule of tuition and required fee rates as attached. And for those who may not have it in front of them, it does go through the credit hours between full-time, the block corridor, as well as other student assessed fees in addition to tuition. And I'm happy to answer questions.
Thank you, Jan. Any comment, questions, discussion? Trustee Hoadley?
Thank you for the presentation. I know that affordability is one of our big concerns as an access, since we value access. Now we're asking for a tuition increase. Can you walk through some of the other parts in the budget that we're doing to maintain access or think about keeping it affordable for students?
Thank you. So that's an excellent question, and I think I need to frame too the importance of tuition to our operations. Our main operating fund is the general fund, and tuition generates 69% of the revenue, which is why your question is so critical. And when you look at all the revenues for the university, tuition is 49% of total revenues for the university. And so again, with access, we too look at increasing our need-based financial aid by the same percentage. So as we get to the budget and the next action, that is a component that will be brought forward as well. I would also want to echo some of the comments from my colleague, Vice President Anderson. As we have historically brought tuition items to the board, we have historically been much lower than the tuition restraint language proposed by Lansing. So for example, for last year, the tuition restraint was 5% and the board enacted 3.85%. So again, our entire focus, and also similar to the COVID years, tuition and fees were kept flat, 0%. So again, it's really at the heart of our decisions, access while providing a great education.
I have a question as well.
Okay.
So my question is, as we set our pricing today, how are we compared to the other colleges and universities in the state? And what does that look like historically?
Thank you. So most of our sister publics have already taken tuition and fee action. There's one school taking action this afternoon. So we begin tracking that as soon as their boards take action. And so looking at what they have had approved by their boards, our undergraduate tuition for residents, we place 8 out of 15. And looking at where we were last year and the year before, we've maintained our position as 8. And I think it also goes to another comment that Diane made about inflation being running hot, which we all know as we go to fill up our gas tank or go to the grocery store. As we looked at what our sister institutions did for their tuition, they too went right to most of them went to the tuition restraint language this year.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, any further comment, question? Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion on the recommendation for, correct me, 4.62. Thank you.
So moved.
Okay, roll call?
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn.
Yes.
Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next agenda item, general fund budget.
Thank
Jan.
you. Appreciate it. So as I already alluded, the general fund is our key operating fund, and as my colleague, the provost, was talking about our faculty, it really drives, I would say, almost all of our academic learning with our students. So today, we're bringing a balanced budget. That is our commitment to our Board of Trustees for approval for 23-24. The total general fund budget that we're looking at for next year is $410.6 million. That actually is like a 0.9% increase from last year, and if I equate that to real dollars, $3.7 million for both a revenue increase as well as an expense increase. As you look at the budget, the major components for the revenue changes, one is tuition, and so thank you for adopting and approving the last resolution, or I'd be really in a difficult spot right now. So we did build the budget on a 4.62% increase for tuition and required fees. The state did take action yesterday. Jeff was beginning to pace the halls a little bit because it was a little longer than we were expecting, but 5% increase for state appropriations as well. So with that, we also adjusted for enrollment changes, which we do each year. As you look at our expenses, the majority of expense in the general fund is related to compensation. And as such, for the non-bargaining staff, we are recommending a 3.75% across the board. And for our bargaining groups, we are recommending compliance with the contracted negotiated language for compensation. We also have experienced utility costs, which again, if you're at home, as you get your consumer's bill and whatnot, we are budgeting a 5% increase for utility costs for next year. And going to Trustee Hoadley, a 4.62% increase for need-based financial aid, just again to ensure access. I'd also like to mention and give kudos to the state of Michigan at this point, if I could, because in addition, last year was the start, but they really, again, made a significant commitment with their Michigan Achievement Scholarship Award. And so for a majority of our students and the other public university students, that will provide up to $5,500 of new financial aid for our students. So that too will help with our mission of access and distinctive education. One of the other items, last year, the state has a different fiscal year than we do, which always makes it a little more complicated. We run July 1 through June 30th. They run through October 1 through September 30th. So in their state fiscal year, but after our 22-23 budget was approved, they took action to help 7 public universities that contribute to a retirement plan called MEPSRS. So we are one of the 7. The action that they took at that point actually relieved us annually of a financial burden of about $8.3 million that we have been contributing to MEPSRS. Huge achievement. We've been in that retirement plan since the 50s. The cost to the university has continued to escalate over years, so kudos to Jeff Brenneman and his team for accomplishing that last year. Because it happened after our budget was approved last year, we're actually recognizing in the budget for 23-24. So with that, where we also ended up, because of the revenues and expenses, we have about $2.7 million for contingency reserve, which we are putting in reserve for next year as we look ahead. Again, not knowing how inflation, not knowing where the state will end, not knowing where enrollment will be, which will allow us to help maintain a stable budget. Which again, I just want to recognize for Western Michigan University, as we function, we have been able to do so with a stable budget outlook the last several years, and that has not been the experience of our sister publics, where many of them have experienced budget reductions, which is really harmful to the students and painful for the departments who deliver service. So with that, it is being recommended that a board approve the fiscal year 23-24 general fund budget, which provides the necessary university financial resources to meet instructional, programmatic, and operating needs. The board also was provided a budget outlook with the numbers and the categories, which pretty much aligns with what I just described. So happy to answer questions.
I will entertain a motion for adoption of the general budget.
A motion.
Okay, roll call.
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn.
Yes.
Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang. Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Okay, thank you.
So WMU currently leases its WMU downtown facility. It's a long-term lease with expiration on March 31st, 2031, and includes an option to purchase in January of 26. The purchase of this property would help solidify WMU's presence and base of operations in Grand Rapids and Kent County. As we continue to develop and expand our strategic partnerships with K-12 institutions and others in that area, we have been continuously operating in Grand Rapids. Oh, the date is now slipping my mind, but it's early 1900s. That we've had educational offerings and opportunities in Grand Rapids. This would result in an annual savings to the university of $1.3 million.
Any questions?
No, but Kaler helped you out. He said 1914.
1914.
All right, if no further questions, I'll entertain a motion to authorize the purchase.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call.
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn. Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang. Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Item 15, repurchase of the BTR parcel. President Vanderklay.
Thank you. So the Business Technology Research Park is found out at our Parkview campus, a neighbor to Floyd Hall and the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. As we have developed that park, Western Michigan University has always retained two rights. One right is to repurchase the property if the buyer elects to no longer stay in the park, to relocate or move. The other right we've always retained is the right of first refusal if we choose not to repurchase the property. Today I'm bringing forward one of those occasions where we're exercising the right to repurchase a parcel. It's actually known as Unit 30, and it's about 4.2 acres. And the first time this parcel was sold was in 2012 for $250,000. Since then, it's actually gone and has had 3 sales, the third one being to the current owner. At each point of a sale, the university has elected not to repurchase, so we did the right of first refusal. Usually there was another buyer right in line at that point in time. For this particular parcel, the owner is the service professor, and they actually purchased the lot for $350,000 in December 2020. They were not able to develop it. They notified us that they do not have any intent to develop it. And as we considered the situation, we have decided that we would like to request your permission to do the right to repurchase. We are actually requesting that we can repurchase at $370,155. And the reason why that's a little bit higher than the 350,000 is the current owner has incurred legal fees over the time and other what I would call due diligence expenses. And so that's why we're looking at a little bit of a higher price. So with that, it's recommended the Board of Trustees authorizes the treasurer or assistant treasurer to complete the necessary documents for the repurchase of Unit 30 in the BTR Park. Happy to answer questions.
Comments, questions? Okay.
I have a quick question. Are there plans for this property after the purchase?
What we are actually looking at it at this point in time, and you can see me smiling with my colleague Jeff Brenneman. Part of the action yesterday was also awarding financial dollars toward our geological survey group, mapping group, which they're currently housed in a rented facility. And so we're not yet sure whether or not this lot would be sufficient for them and their needs, not only current needs, but future growth needs. So we're looking at it for that purpose. If we determine that it's not a good fit after doing due diligence, then we will seek to resell it at that point.
If we sell it, thank you. If we resell it to an entity that is not internal to WMU or closely affiliated, do we seek to recapture at least our purchase price?
What we actually do is, at that point, we go out and usually talk to appraisers because market values can go up and go down in the real estate business, as we all know. So real estate's been running pretty strong, but we would look to price it because it has to be marketable to generate interest. So we would hope to recoup it all. I would also say that as a general practice, as we have generated proceeds over time, we protected those just for situations like this, and we actually were able to use some of those proceeds as seed money for the BTR2. So hopefully did I answer your question?
Kind of, but yes.
Okay. How about it depends? Because I think, yeah.
Thank you, Jan. So I'll entertain a motion to allow the repurchase of the parcel in the BTR. Okay, roll call.
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn.
Yes.
Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Thank you. On to the 5-year capital outlay plan, item 16. Jan.
Thank you. So, I presented this one a few times now in my vice presidency, and every time I do, I think it's really confusing. And so I'm going to kind of start at a different starting point. The state actually has 2 requirements for what we bring to the Board of Trustees for action. And we bring one of those items to the board either late spring or summer, and that is the building project priority list. And that is its focus of the top 10 to 15 buildings, renovations, new construction, where Jeff and his team then hopefully obtain capital outlay building dollars for us to proceed. That is actually used then beginning in fall to generate the 5-year capital outlay plan. So we look at what we have identified with board approval as our priorities. We look at enrollment trends. We look at what is deemed state-of-the-art for facilities and institutional data. Our strategic goals have already been discussed by the board. And with that, each year we formulate the 5-year capital outlay plan. And that always comes to the board about this time of the year. And I actually misspoke. The priority list comes in fall, September. I'm surprised David Dakin back there didn't throw something at me. So it's a circular process on it. We provided the link for access to it, which is at wmich.edu/facilities/planning/5-year. And it is is voluminous. It's hundreds of pages. The state has very exacting requirements of the information that needs to be included for every project. So we do not provide the whole plan here. And I'd be happy to answer questions, but if not, we're recommending that the board approve the 5-year capital outlay plan for fiscal years 24 to 28 as mandated by the state of Michigan.
Any comments, questions for Jan? Okay, I'll entertain a motion. Roll call?
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn. Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang. Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Thank you. I'd like to invite our Director of Athletics up now, Dan Bartholomew, to talk about the conditional approval of alcohol sales.
President Montgomery, here we are again. As you are likely already aware, 2 days ago, the House gave final passage to Senate Bill 247, which would permit the sale of alcohol at public university events under certain terms and conditions. The House passed this bill with a vote of 85 to 23 after the Senate passed it 36 to 2 just 2 weeks ago. It is awaiting signature from the governor, and the Michigan Liquor Control Commission has already issued guidance to universities on the application process. Similar to the 24-hour license applications for Waldo Stadium that you approved at our last meeting, the bill requires that a university's governing board must approve seeking these new licenses. Given the guidance we have received on the timing of the approval process, which will take between 3 to 6 months, our own university sports schedules, and the meeting schedule of this Board of Trustees, this action item seeks conditional approval from the board to apply for up to 5 Class C and/or tavern licenses if the bill is signed, and thus enacted into law to allow athletics to seek licenses from the Michigan Liquor Control Commission as soon as the application process is opened. It is our intention to apply for licenses for 5 facilities, as permitted by the legislation, and it is our immediate intention to apply for licenses in Waldo Stadium, University Arena, and Lawson Arena. Based on the length of the application process, it is likely that we will continue our request to utilize the 5-day licenses recently approved by the board for the fall 2023 football season, but we certainly want to be prepared ahead in any manner possible. When I came before you 2 months ago requesting those day licenses, I shared a detailed report on the growing trend of alcohol sales across the MAC and Division I, the fan feedback we had received to support alcohol sales in our venues, as well as the operational, logistical, and safety plan we had developed in partnership with our University Facilities Division, our third-party vendor, and our Office of Public Safety. I was pleased to see that the operational requirements in the bill already were outlined in our safety plan, which you will recall also includes additional measures aimed at maintaining a safe and enjoyable fan experience for all in attendance. It is anticipated sales will be facilitated by Kalamazoo Concessions, our third-party vendor, who would assume full control and management over the service of alcoholic beverages at these games and events. These sales will be administered according to our policy, MLCC policy, and Kalamazoo Concessions will administer tips training to all of their staff. All purchasers will have to present ID, sales will be limited to 2 items per transaction, and sales will end prior to the conclusion of the event. Alcohol cannot leave the premises, and fans will not be permitted re-entry. In addition, Western Michigan Athletics will introduce a text line at all venues so that fans can report issues immediately and confidentially via their phones. And in partnership with Public Safety and our stadium management firm, an increased public safety presence will monitor points of sale and general seating areas. Finally, as indicated last time, we will track public safety and sales data and debrief regularly after events with information readily available to the board for review. As part of the application process, we will now begin a more detailed operational review for these other venues in regards to location and methods of points of sale, similar to what you have already seen for Waldo. That plan will be completed prior to and will accompany any applications. As I mentioned in our last meeting, I have experience administering these sales in multiple venues at my last stop and feel confident in our ability to deliver. This initiative directly aligns with our strategic plan, which included strategies to improve fan engagement, generate new revenues, and provide new concessions options for our fans. We appreciate your review and consideration of this action item, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Trustee Hoadley.
I just want to take a moment and say thank you for all your thoughtfulness on this. And also, I know that Senator McCann did a lot of work to get that bill through the finish line, so a big thank you to him for helping Western and so many universities across the state be able to explore this in a strategic way.
Senator McCann obviously has been a great partner, and we thank him as well for his role in moving this forward.
Anyone else? Okay, entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn.
Yes.
Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang. Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Move on to item 18, academic tenure and promotion. Provost, for the recommendation for approval.
It is recommended to be approved the list of faculty members that was previously disclosed effective with the beginning date of the 2023-24 academic fiscal year. It's also recommended that the promotions be approved beginning the 2023 fiscal year for professor, associate professor, master faculty specialist 2. Thank you.
Enthusiastically so moved.
Support. Okay, quick question. Are those two recommendations or is it separate?
This is a separate for those receiving tenure and promotion.
Yeah, but then he's got the other promotion. So we have two, and then you have it here, too? Just for clarification.
Yeah, so the
'Cause
first,
if there's first one and then there's a second one.
yeah, the first list is for tenure.
For tenure, and the second is
The second
for-
list is
yeah.
for promotions.
Yep, I just want to make sure everybody knows there's two votes, or we're doing it as one.
Well, I think one's combined.
One combined?
One
Okay.
combined.
Yep, go ahead, roll call.
We got it. Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay. Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn.
Yes.
Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Congratulations, Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Thank you, and congratulations. And we'll see you all at lunch. Dr. Schuman for the
Sure.
trustee emeritus.
Thank you. It's a privilege to present to you two resolutions. We will do one each, so two separate votes. They are for trustee emeritus William D. Johnston and trustee emeritus Jeffrey Reinvelt. Let's get you emeritized and off to lunch. So I'm going to abbreviate the resolutions. Whereas William D. Johnston has demonstrated unwavering dedication and commitment of service to Western Michigan University and to the state of Michigan as a member of the University Board of Trustees, serving 2 terms following his January 2007 appointment, again 16 years. Whereas Trustee Johnston has exemplified visionary fiduciary leadership and played a crucial role in strategic planning and the advancement of social and economic initiatives during his tenure, contributing significantly to the university's accomplishments in areas such as higher education, regional development, and the pursuit of academic excellence. Be it resolved, the Western Michigan University Board of Trustees expresses its deepest appreciation and recognition by granting the esteemed title of Trustee Emeritus to William D. Johnston, with all rights and privileges associated with this distinguished honor in sincere acknowledgement of his outstanding dedication, visionary guidance, mentoring, and invaluable service to the university. Trustee Johnston's steadfast commitment to higher education, economic development, and community engagement serves as an inspiration for all of us who celebrate that legacy.
Entertain a motion?
I would like to move on this motion fast.
Support.
Support? Okay. Roll call.
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn.
Yes.
Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Congratulations, Trustee Emeritus Johnston. Again, with equal privilege, Trustee Emeritus Jeffrey Reinfeldt. Whereas Jeff Reinfeldt has provided dedicated and faithful service to Western Michigan University and the people of the state of Michigan on the university's governing board, appointed in December 2014 for 8 years. Whereas his visionary leadership and extensive experience in startup ventures have greatly contributed to the university's advancement, and his dedication to fostering an environment that thrives from assessment led to the development of a presidential compensation and assessment committee, and along with his focused leadership on the university audit committee. Be it resolved, the Western Michigan University Board of Trustees gratefully acknowledges and honors Jeff Reinfeldt's exemplary dedication, leadership, and service to the university. And it bestows upon him the distinguished title of Emeritus Trustee, with all the associated rights and privileges, in profound recognition of his visionary guidance, exceptional achievements, mentoring, and unwavering commitment to the university's mission.
Entertain a motion?
Support.
Okay, roll call?
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn.
Yes.
Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Congratulations, Trustee Emeritus
Thank
Reinfeldt.
you. Okay, moving on to the item 20, consent items. Does any of the trustees have anything they'd like removed or questioned? Nope. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn.
Yes.
Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Thank you. Are there any public comments?
Chair Edgerton, we do have two who have arranged commentary. First is Interim President of PIO, Tim Bobber.
Welcome, Tim.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me speak. Hi, my name is Tim Bober. I'm the interim president of the Professional Instructors Organization. I'm also the lead negotiator for bargaining that started this week. We're off and running. Let me briefly introduce myself. I started teaching in 2002. I got a bachelor's and master's degree from Western Michigan University. I've now taught almost 200 classes at 3 different schools. I didn't set out to do this. I wasn't trying to break any records for number of classes taught or become union president. I'm also an archaeologist that has worked every summer in the field since 1997, including the last 13 years with the Fort St. Joseph Archaeology Project, which is run by Western Michigan University. This is a French fort built in 1691 in southwest Michigan that was discovered by Western Michigan University archaeologists 20 plus years ago, and we've been excavating ever since. Teaching students how to do professional archaeology. That program is now run by Erica Hartley and assisted by myself, and we are both PIO members. But that's not what I'm here to speak to you about today. I'm here to speak to you about the position of part-time instructor position, how it's changed in the 20 years that I've been teaching, and in the last 70 years especially. In 2002, like I said, I taught my first class at Western Michigan University Extended University Programs. I made $1,000 per credit hour then. I make $1,050 per credit hour now. I got by. It was 2002. It was different. Rent was like $300 or less, and it was okay. It's not glorious, but it was fine. But the part-time instructor, more importantly, the part-time instructor position has changed, especially in the last half of the 20th century, where it was a position that was regularly held by recent graduates who were using it as a stepping stone to move on to other full-time professional gigs, oftentimes teaching, but that is not the case anymore. Those teaching jobs are far and few between, but we are still being treated the same, as if there's some expectation that we will go on and do something else, and that the pay is the same. I was told at the end of grad school when I was graduating, when I told the history department chair here at Western that I was going to start teaching, and he said that a master's degree was more than enough to get a full-time teaching position at a community college, and that sounded wonderful to me. I assumed that was going to be my future, and that's what I set off to do. I have applied for every full-time community college job that I have seen in the state of Michigan and around, and I have not been hired. I've done freeway flying. I've taught in different cities, at different schools on the same day, worked very hard over 20 years, many of us work for low pay, almost no raises, and I can sense people even now thinking to themselves, why don't you go on and get a different job, one that pays you more? And I would like to address that, and the answer is because this is what I was trained to do. I was trained to do this at Western, and I love my job. And I'm very good at it. I estimate I've taught about 15,000 students over the years, and I see them all over the place. And they come up to me and they tell me about how I've impacted them, how my classes have impacted them. I saw a student recently at Mackinac Island on a Saturday night, and they came up to me and told me about an exam review, part of my exam review I'd given them like 10 years ago, and how significant that was to them. I live in Grand Ledge, Michigan, down near Lansing, and I was walking my dog, and I saw a person I thought I only knew from social media. He does like landscaping but he does this charity work and other kinds of community work. And I wanted to go up to him and say, hey, man, that's great stuff. You keep that up. And as I crossed the street to talk to him, he saw me and he set his stuff down and he came over and he said, this is close to verbatim, he said, Tim Bober, I took your class at Western and you changed my life. He said that he grew up in a small rural white town, and that my class had opened his eyes to what the world is really like, and that his life would be forever changed. We are making a difference in the world to our students. I'm not unique. PIO members care. We dedicate ourselves to teaching, and the students see it. They feel it. They remember it. Teaching gives life immense meaning for us. I have no regrets about what I have done and how I've been employed. A full class load at Western is $20,000 a year. I could make more working at the checkout line at Trader Joe's and have benefits, but I didn't get a bachelor's degree and master's degree at Western to do that. In fact, would anyone in this room assume that this is like the obvious solution of what I should be doing or what anyone should be doing? I don't think that working at Western is a hobby. People go and do jobs like that when they're working at hobbies. Go work at check people out and at the grocery store. And why would we want to force out our longest running professors, our most experienced professors, arguably our best performance, our best professors? How does this help the quality of instruction at Western? I don't have to convince you that inflation and the cost of living is hurting everyone, but especially the poorest and those in poverty. Rent is easily $1,000 a month now, and our pay is extremely flat. Assistance for poverty for the Michigan Lifeline program is for individuals making less than $19,600. Please instruct the negotiating team across the table from us to do what is right and pay PIO members who teach a full load something they can live on. Please help us. We are highly skilled, highly educated, highly dedicated people. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite Dr. Tangela Roberts to the podium. I don't see Dr. Roberts here, so I think that then concludes our public commentary.
Okay, a motion to adjourn? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Thank you all very much. Thank you all for your patience. Long agenda today. Thank you. See you in the fall at the new building. Or maybe up at lunch.
I didn't see her all day, yeah, so.